Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday with Sarah May. I am your host, Sarah May. I am an energy reader, an Akashic Records reader, a life coach, and I am the founder and instructor of Empowered Empaths Academy. It is my goal to help as many people, as many empaths as possible wake up to their true selves, wake up to their inner light so they could live their most authentic lives based in unconditional love, and filled with lasting happiness. As part of this goal, I come live on Facebook every week and I share some of my wisdom with you. In order to share this wisdom with even more people, I have expanded our reach to YouTube as well. Replays are now available on YouTube at the Healing with Sarah May YouTube channel. If you or anyone else you know that needs to see this, wants to watch the replays, they can be found in the Empath Awakening Facebook group as well as the Healing with Sarah May YouTube channel. It is the end of September, and all September long, we have been doing shadow work. It has been Shadow Work September, which has really been an extension of Self Love Summer, because shadow work is really loving the deeper parts of ourselves that we'd rather hide away, but really bringing those out. And we've been doing this shadow work all month long. One of the ways that we've been doing it is with these shadow work or contemplation or journal cards, whatever you want to call them, asking those shadow work questions, giving you those prompts. I've been I have been posting these cards as well as other shadow work prompts on the Healing with Sarah May Facebook page and Instagram page all month long. And every Sunday, I have been doing specialty cards for individuals in the Empath Awakening Facebook group. We've also been having workshops in the Ascension Circle membership as well, where we have been getting in depth and getting down in the trenches doing this shadow work together. So we've really been working on uncovering these shadow parts of ourselves all month long. And we're coming to the end of it. So today we're going to talk about signs that you've been doing your shadow work, because I really feel like shadow work is something that we do our entire life. We're always uncovering more of who we are, right? Jesus said, I am everything that you are. The only difference is there's nothing else, right? I've gotten rid of everything that isn't my true essence, right? And I think that we're always working towards that goal of getting rid of what isn't our true essence, accepting all the different parts of ourselves, really integrating that. I don't know that it's work that ends, but definitely it is work that you can see when you have done it and when it has been done, when you have started doing it. And I know a lot of you have been working really, really hard this month doing this shadow work. And I want you guys to be able to recognize that you're doing it, because sometimes when we're doing the work, when we're taking these little baby steps, we don't realize what we're doing. I think I posted on Instagram something the other day. It says, you keep taking one baby step at a time, you're going to turn around and realize you climbed a mountain, right? And that's how it works, is one step at a time we do this work, and we don't always notice the signs that we've been doing it. So let's look at what those signs look like when you've been doing your healing work, when you've been doing your shadow work. What are some signs that will let you know? Well, the first sign that you have been doing some shadow work might actually seem counterintuitive, but it really isn't. It's that you're going to notice more shadows and triggers than ever. And you might be like, wait a second, how come there are more now? I'm doing the work, I'm clearing them, I'm integrating parts of myself, I'm finding things about me, and I'm accepting them. Like, how come there are more and more parts every time I turn around? And the reason that it seems like there are more is because now it's safe for them to come out. You are doing the work, your subconscious knows you're doing the work, your shadow work, your shadow self knows that you're doing the work. So it becomes almost uncontrollable when you start doing the unmasking process, when you take off the mask of who you presented for the world and start to show your true self. It gets you can't put it on anymore. All of a sudden you realize what's under it, and it's all you can see. So if you have been noticing, oh my goodness, I have all these triggers, I have all these shadows, There are all these things about myself that I wasn't allowing myself to see. There are all these things that really bother me that I never noticed before. I didn't realize that they were bothering me. But now I'm like so aware of it. Like, what is going on? The reason it's going on is because you asked to see. You started looking. So now you have eyes that can see the shadows. You can see the triggers. At first, when you do this work, it does seem like there are more. And that's because it's safe for it to come up and safe for it to come out. It reminds me of when I quit smoking. 20 years ago, I used to smoke over 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And something weird happens when you stop smoking. You can be smoking up to 2 packs a day and not be hacking up stuff all day long, but you quit smoking. About 7 days later, all this stuff starts hacking up. And you wonder, you're like, why am I hacking up all this stuff? I am no longer smoking. And the reason you're hacking it up is because you're no longer smoking, because it's no longer happening, and your lungs know it's safe to clean myself out now. So they start to clean themselves out. And the same thing happens with your shadows. Your shadows realize, oh, we're getting accepted, we're getting seen. Oh, it is time for me to come out now. And they start coming up more, and you start to notice them more. The next sign that you have been doing your shadow work is that others people's behaviors start to don't trigger you like they used to. Like, yes, you're going to notice where the triggers are, but eventually they're not going to come up as much. They no longer are going to create an emotional response or cause you to get into your head. You'll notice their behavior, of course, but you'll no longer feel the need to react or respond to it. You're going to be able to look at them for who they are and look at you for who you are, and you're not going to let their behavior affect you, right? You know that your triggers are your triggers and their triggers are their triggers, and they're reacting out of their triggers. It has nothing to do with you. And once you realize that, you're unbothered. So you will start, you're not gonna be as reactive. People aren't going to bother you as much. And that is a wonderful, wonderful benefit of doing this work. Another thing you do is you drop the blame and denial, and you exchange it for curiosity. When we are stuck in our shadow, when we are denying our shadow, when we are triggered and focused on our triggers, we are blaming other people. We are blaming the person who triggered us. We are blaming the person who caused the trigger in the first place, who caused the initial shame that made us put away the shadow part of ourselves. We are mad at Tommy standing in front of us and our mom from 32 years ago. You know, that's where we are. We put ourselves in blame. We deny any of our own doing. This is what we do when we are in ego, denying shadow. But when we stop doing that, we drop it. We drop the blame, we drop the denial, and we exchange it for curiosity. We notice a trigger, we notice a glimmer, we notice parts of ourselves that we aren't acknowledging, and we get curious. We don't get mad, we don't get blamey, we don't yell at people, we get curious. We wonder, what's up with that? Why do I get so excited when I see that? Why do I get so angry when I see it? It's almost exciting when something triggers you, because you're doing this work and you're figuring out the shadows, and now, oh, here's another trigger. I could figure it out, right? So instead of it happening, you start to blame people or deny your own responsibility in it. You get curious and you start looking at things, and that makes life a lot easier. Yeah. Another thing that will start to happen as you go on your shadow work journey is you will notice that you judge yourself and others less. When you have gone into the depths of your own darkness, when you have learned to offer yourself complete acceptance, complete love, complete forgiveness, when you start to be compassionate to yourself and love all the parts of you, it's so much easier for you to do that for others as well. you will find yourself being not only more accepting of you, but more accepting and compassionate towards others, because you realize that your judgments from others stem from your own unhealed wounds. They stem from your own hidden parts of self. They stem from your own judgment of yourself. And once you heal these wounds, other people's behaviors, they're not going to behave, they're not going to phase you, and you're not even going to judge them at all. So where something you see now, you're like, oh my goodness, that's so offensive. You know, once you've accepted parts of yourself and you love yourself, it's no longer offensive. And it's often the things that offend us most are parts of us ourselves that we're hiding away. A place this can really be seen, and a place that it has been studied, is when it comes to homophobia. Almost all people that show up as homophobic also test as having same-sex attraction in psychological tests. And the reason that they are so anti-gay is because they have those feelings themselves, and they are not allowing themselves to acknowledge it. They don't allow that for themselves. So how dare this other person allow it for themselves? Because hello, I feel the same way and I restrain myself. Why aren't you restraining yourself? Because that's what I feel is right, even though my instinct, my heart, my soul leads me towards this. My brain tells me it's wrong, so I'm shoving it down and I'm telling you that you should do it too. Does that make sense? That's how it happens. We do that with everything. Yes, homophobia is an extreme example. Sometimes we need extreme examples to understand, but this is exactly how it works. The things we hide and shame about ourselves are the things that we judge others for. So as we take those things out of the darkness, as we stop hiding things about ourselves, as we stop shaming ourselves for who we naturally are, for being our authentic selves, we will stop doing that to others as well. The next thing that I'm going to bring up that will happen when you do shadow work is that you start to realize that you too might have contributed to somebody else's shadow. You too might have contributed to somebody else's shadow. Just like when I was talking about the blame and shame game that we do when we get triggered, we have said things, we have done things to others that have made them feel not safe to be themselves, just like others have done that to us. And as you do shadow work, as you realize what has been done to you, what has happened to you, and how it has affected you, you very well may also realize what you have done that has affected others. And that is a very, very common thing. When this happens, please forgive yourself. Please forgive yourself. And if you can, if it feels appropriate, you can reach out to those that you know that you might have hurt or offended in any way, shape, or form. You absolutely can do that, but you don't have to. You're not obligated to. Just like you're not obligated to reach out to anybody you forgive. You know, it goes both ways. But yes, you will notice that sometimes it was you, right? And we have this beautiful picture of Scarlet Envy with that famous quote, "Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Am I the drama?" Right? And yes, she was the drama. And we do realize, maybe I was the drama. Maybe that was me. Maybe I did that, right? You start to realize that about yourself. And it helps you again with that compassion, because you too have done that, right? You too are capable of such things. The understanding, the compassion is what we're really talking about here. And that also comes with some acknowledgement of, hey, maybe I was the asshole, right? Next, you're no longer afraid to be seen. We're going to flip this around. We got my girl Tay here and her famous line, "Because I am dramatic," right? Because I am dramatic. We go from asking, "What am I the drama?" to, yeah, actually, I am dramatic, right? Taylor's Reputation tour was all about not being unapologetic. There will be no explanation, just reputation. I'm just going to be me. I'm no longer explaining myself. I'm no longer afraid to be me. Yes, I'm dramatic. And when you do your shadow work, you're going to realize that you too become less and less afraid of being seen, less and less afraid of being perceived. So many of us are afraid of being perceived, especially those of us who are neurodivergent. Neurodivergent people figure out that they're different from neurotypical people very quickly, and they want to hide that. So they learn how to mask at a very, very young age, right? Also, people who are raised in abusive or narcissistic homes learn this at a very, very young age. And we hide parts of ourselves and we're afraid to be that. We have this fear that is within us that we are unworthy. We feel like if somebody knew the truth about us, they would no longer like us. We would be ostracized. We would be put out of society, right? And as long as we're walking around with this fear inside of us that if they find out my big secrets, they're going to hate me. I'm going to die, right? Because that's what we feel. That's what we feel. And I'm not being dramatic there. That's honestly the nervous system response is if I am not accepted by the tribe, I will die. This is how we feel. And when we're walking around scared like that, it affects our life. When we learn to love and accept all the parts of ourselves, we don't have to be afraid anymore. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. When that happens, you're able to confront adversity and setbacks with courage and poise. When people get in your face, you're not going to crumble. When someone makes their tiny little comments at you that usually really upset you and get at you, they're not going to bother you anymore. When an emergency comes up in life, you'll be able to handle it. A story that I often tell my students about is when I was younger in life and I had a car, I had a tire issue. I didn't really know about cars and tires and stuff like that. I was really scared that it was going to cost a lot of money for me to get a new tire. I spent 3 days having a panic attack about how am I going to get this tire? How am I going to get to work? I don't have money to fix the tire. I don't have a tire to go to work to get money. What am I going to do? I had a panic attack for 3 days until I asked for help. And then I was told that I could get help if I needed it. I took the car into the tire store, and the tire store actually fixed it for free. So for 3 days, I had a panic attack about something that I didn't need to have a panic attack at all about. I was worried about money that I didn't even need because I was so scared and so freaked out and so in my shame and, oh my God, you're not good enough. I can't believe it, cycle that I did that to myself for 3 days. But now that I'm confident, I can confront adversity with courage. I can confront it with poise. When something happens, I know I can handle it. When something happens, I know, well, let's find out what the situation is before I freak out, right? I'm able to handle situations in a better way. And when you have done your work, when you're done your healing work, when you've done your shadow work, you're able to approach setbacks. You're able to approach adversity with courage and with poise because you're confident in who you are. And you're not scared that this person's going to knock you down or it's going to end your life because you know that you got this. You also have less anxiety. You also have less anxiety. Remember back here, I was talking about you're afraid to be seen. You think that you're going to die. The tribe is going to push you out. You won't be able to survive, right? But that's not true. That's not true. So as you accept the parts of yourself, as you love yourself, as you bring that into yourself and you do your shadow work, you are going to notice less and less anxiety in your life. That fight or flight, that how do I survive? How do I make sure that I don't get kicked out of the tribe, right? It's like Survivor. How do I make sure I don't get voted off the island, walking about ground, being scared about that all the time? That feeling goes away and you will notice yourself being able to relax, having moments of calm, breathing and really breathing deeply. It's a really powerful thing when you realize you're not anxious all the time. One time I had a 6-month long panic attack. And I remember the day I realized that I was no longer having a panic attack, I was driving down the highway. And the first thing I realized is I was driving with one hand. And I had usually been like death grip, white knuckle driving it, really super, super anxious, and I was like, oh, look at me. I'm like relaxed, leaned back a little bit, driving with one hand. And then I realized, oh my goodness, I'm on the highway and I'm not having heart palpitations. Like I'm not freaking out. I'm not twitching and jerking my car anytime another vehicle gets close to me. And I realized that I was calm. I wasn't anxious. And it was the most beautiful thing. And when you go from constantly being stuck in fight or flight, which you can be for years, to being calm and to having those moments, it's so peaceful. And the more you do your shadow work, the more you do your healing work, the more you're going to get these beautiful little moments of peace. And life will feel more easier. Manifesting will seem easier. And I put easier in quotes because I will let you know you are always manifesting, and the life you have right now has been manifested by you in the past. Okay, we are always manifesting things. The thing is that a lot of us forget is we manifest with our vibration. We don't manifest with our words. So if our words are saying, I want to win the lotto, but our vibration is saying, I'm broke and can't pay my bills, the universe is going to deliver, I'm broke and can't pay my bills. When we have things that we are hiding and we are holding and we are not acknowledging and allowing move through our body or integrating or accepting or anything like that, it becomes the loudest vibration. As we move through the shadows, as we clear out the stuck energy that is keeping these shadows hidden within us, we clear out that lower vibrational stuff that isn't attracting what we do not want in our life. And when we get rid of those low vibes, what we're left with is those high vibes, right? When we get rid of the feelings of, I'm not good enough, nobody's going to love me, no one's going to accept me, and we replace that with, I am amazing. I'm perfect exactly as I am. I am as God created, and only I can be me, and only I can do the work that I am here to do. Your life changes. What you attract changes. When you feel like you're not good enough and you don't deserve anything, you are not going to be able to manifest those wonderful things that are coming out of your mouth. But when you know the truth, when you know that you are perfect and exactly as God created you, when you know that every single part of you is good and right and lovable, life just becomes easier. And the things that you want are able to come to you because you understand that you deserve them and you understand that you are worthy and you know that every single bit of you is worthy. So it'll seem like your manifesting becomes easier because your vibration has changed to allow in those things you desire. Does that make sense? Throw some hearts up if that makes sense for you. Yes, I see those hearts coming up. Thank you guys. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Last but not least, and I've said this a couple of times in a couple ways, but it really needs to just be said, your life becomes more peaceful. Your life becomes more peaceful overall. And isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we all want? Shadow work can absolutely get you there. Your life becomes more peaceful when you truly embrace and love all parts of yourself. The parts that are easy to love and the parts that are more difficult to love, your interactions with others, your relationships with others, your relationship with yourself are all going to become so much easier. And not because those other people changed, but because you changed. But because you changed and you better understand the truth. And that will bring you peace faster than anything else in your life. So let me know who's recognizing this in themselves, who is listening to these. I think there were 10 examples. I didn't count them. Who is listening to these examples and seeing, hey, that's me. That's me right there, right? I'm doing that, right? I have noticed that my life is more peaceful. I have noticed myself manifesting things in. I have noticed those moments of peace without anxiety and that I'm not judging my loved ones, right? Raise some hands, give yourself some praise, put me in the comments if you're recognizing yourself in this. And I bet you are if you're doing this work. I know that if you've been following this and doing these prompts for the last month, some of this has been popping up for you. Let me know what it is in the comments below. And let me know if you haven't noticed any. If you haven't noticed any, right? If you're not noticing any of these signs and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I really do my shadow work, congratulations for being here. Because the first step of your shadow work is always what? What is always the first step of everything? I'm going to give you guys a second. Let's see who comes up with it. Awareness. That's right. I see you. You got it. Awareness. The very first step is awareness. So if you just said, I don't have any of those things, I am anxious, I am judging people all the time, I don't like myself, you know, if you're saying, I don't have any of those things, Sarah, like what the heck? Then you know what you have? You now have awareness. You now have awareness that you have some shadow work to be done, right? If you can't say these things about yourself, if you can't say, you know, I'm not bothered by other people, I'm not less bothered, you know, I'm still just as triggered by everybody in my life, I'm still blaming everybody in my life, I'm still judging everybody in my life. If you're noticing about this about yourself, then you have the awareness that there is work to be done. That's step one. It's time for step two. Step two is taking some grounded action. And that means doing something about it, not just realizing it, not just acknowledging it, not just being like, oh yeah, I'm a dick and going along with your life. No, realizing this about your life, wanting different, and choosing to take grounded action. And there's so many ways that we can do this. We have talked for the last month about ways to do shadow work. You can watch the classes. You could do shadow work on your own. I would love to have anybody who wants to go deeper with me in Ascension Circle. We have courses, meditations, and tools to guide you on your ascension journey. We just had a huge shadow work 101 class and a workshop. We're doing another workshop next Monday. We do 3 live classes each and every month, and we have an amazing library of stuff to really get you started or continue on that journey and really guide you. So if you want to go deeper with this, if you're like, Sarah, I don't have any of those things and I want them all, help me out. Or if you're like, I'm getting there, but I would like to do it with a group, I would like a little guidance to make it a little more cohesive, Ascension Circle might be the right place for you. If you feel called, I'd love to have you. It's only $47 a month. You can come and go as you feel called. There is no obligation, and you get access to a beautiful library full of wonderful knowledge and wisdom, and a wonderful circle community inside a private Facebook group. Also, if you're looking to do some more journeying on your own, next month's special, because next week is not September anymore. Let me make sure that's true. Yeah, next Wednesday is October 2nd. We're already going to be into October next week. So I am letting you guys know first, my October special is only $44 for this amazing meditation collection, Journeys with Sarah May. In honor of my 44th birthday, I'm doing this $44 special, and that is only $44. You're going to get 4 journeys. It's a journey to your future self, a journey to the Akashic Records, a journey to Soul Retrieval Island, and a journey to the mountain in the cave. These are amazing for doing shadow work. Absolutely amazing. They give you the opportunities to meet with your masters, teachers, and loved ones in the Akashic Records and really delve into what's going on with you. It teaches you how to go into the hidden caves of your inner being and find those parts of you that you're ready to integrate. It teaches you how to talk to your future self and learn how to get where you're going. It's an absolutely amazing collection. These meditations are loved and have been used by many, and they're now available for only $44. The month of October, celebrating my 44th birthday, we are doing Journeys with Sarah May. If you want to continue your shadow work, these meditations are an absolutely amazing way to do it. The link is already up in my link tree. My link tree is always the best way to see the latest and greatest what's going on, what's available from me. This is linked in my link tree now. It's really going to start getting promoted with October, but I'm letting you guys know right now. It goes really well with today's session. And, I always like to let my Wisdom Wednesday peeps in on everything early. So go ahead, grab that now if you want to continue this journey and continue doing this work on yourself. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you for spending the last 31 minutes with me. Thank you for doing your shadow work. Thank you so much for playing along the last month and doing these prompts. I know some of them were really hard. I know some of you were really triggered by these prompts and you kept looking, you kept trying, you kept writing them down. And I'm so freaking proud of you. I really, really am. So thank you. Thank you so much for doing this work. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing everything that you can to be your best you and to raise your vibration. When you raise your vibration, you don't only raise your own vibration, but you raise the vibration of everybody else around you. And you raise the vibration of the collective as a whole. It is my opinion that this is the most sacred work that any of us can do. And because of that, I say that the light in me bows to the light in you. And so I say, namaste. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all, and I will see you next time.